everybody. How's it going? So, got a couple special guests on today's show. We've got Mr. Adam Steel from Hot Pole Studios, and we've got Mr. Scott Elliot from Chernobyl Studios. So, Adam is in England, and Scott is in the Ukraine, and of course, I am in a lovely, freezing cold Windsor, Ontario. I'm so glad to be back. Yay. Yes. Seriously, though, so we've got something cool coming up here now. As you guys know, Adam Steel did the Ultimate Reaper guide, and you've got your new one out, which is...
Understanding EQ, compression, and reverb. So kind of the other side.
Yes, the Audio Fundamentals course. And, of course, you guys know Scott from doing Guitar Tone Mastery, which is just an absolutely unbelievable course, especially if you're working on amp sims, IRs, all that kind of stuff.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, you said everything perfectly. I can't do better than you.
All right. Scott's also got a brand new course out called...
Oh, that's mixing extreme metal, actually. That's still pretty new. Just recently came out.
Yeah, and that's... Tell us a little bit about that.
The mixing extreme metal one, it's like literally A to Z of everything that someone would have to do for a metal song, to include editing actual real drums that have blast beats, double bass, gravity blast, and then all the way to the end where you create a stem mastering session for a mastering engineer and everything in between.
Fantastic, yeah. Gravity Blast. I hate Gravity Blast. They're a recording engineer's worst nightmare if you don't work with samples. Because the snare goes from bang, 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 bang,
yeah.
tip, 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 tip. It's like,
yeah, that's exactly it. No, there were no samples on the Gravity Blast because that's the real actual performance. And then because with the samples, it sounds dumb. So you just do what you have to do there.
I'm very interested to see how you do that in your mix, to be honest with you. But it's like, I used to record a band and the drummer did Gravity Blast all the time. It'd be hilarious because you go see them live, you can always tell when the Gravity Blast they're playing because the snare would just vanish. Yeah, it's like, is he hitting that fucking thing or is he just whispering at it? You know, it's like
he's tickling it. He's like, "I love you, I love you."
So now, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with Adam and his Ultimate Guide to Reaper, and I know there is a shit ton of Reaper users out there because you guys are very, very vocal about it, and that's awesome. Adam, tell us a little bit about your Ultimate Reaper guide.
Right.
And
so
why somebody should be interested.
Reaper is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. In years gone by, it was kind of written off as some sort of weird, cheap DAW, the kind of, the poor brother to Pro Tools. And I always believed that was definitely not the case, especially with all the features that, in the last year, Pro Tools has got dark mode, Reaper has that. Folders, Reaper has that, etc., and so on. It's kind of, it's a different thing. And people think that because it's got a low price, that it's got to have a low set of features, and that's just not true. But it can be quite bewildering because you open Reaper and it's just a blank screen. And so I thought, you know what? I've been using Reaper for a decade now, and I love it. And I can walk people through, start to finish, how to set up a project that works for them, that basically by the end of the course is set up like an analog mixing desk, but with all the cool modern features like folders and parallel compression, all the crazy stuff that would be a little more tricky to do if you didn't know where the buttons were.
Okay, great. And that's the thing. Yeah, your course takes you through the entire thing from like hooking everything up to tracking it to mixing it to mastering it, the whole 9 yards, basically.
Absolutely. Right the way from here's an audio interface, you're not going to get sound out of your regular computer speakers, which some people need to be, that explained from the basics. A lot of people don't. A lot of people get that, but then you get into the slightly more clever stuff like routing through side chains, that kind of thing, which I know, in Pro Tools, that's called the key. In Cubase, it's something else. So in Reaper, I'll show you where that thing is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sidechaining in Reaper can be a little bit head-scratching. It still screws me up every now and then. It's like 3, 4, what the fuck is that all about? But yeah, it's like if they just call it sidechain, that'd be nice.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing that once you've done it a few times, it does kind of make sense because in Reaper, there's no such thing as a mono track. There's no such thing as a stereo track. Even like you can have a 6 or 8 or 10 channel tracks. You can do like 7.1 mixing, which is insane. But you can have every channel as like 5.1 or 7.1 if you want. You just change a few things, which means then your sidechain would be the next one. But it depends how you think about it. So yeah, it's like anything else, it's a little bewildering at first, but then once you go, right, well, that's how I do this, it just goes click. And that way of working then sticks with you.
Hey guys, just gonna break in here for a second. Just got an update. We've rolled all the courses that are in the metal bundle with Scott and Adam. Those are now going to be part of the Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle. The Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle usually only comes up on Black Friday and 4th of July weekend, and that's, got the Motorhead and Galacticon stuff. Now we're taking all of the courses that are in the metal bundle and rolling them in. So you now get 23 courses in the Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle, and it's still only $197. This is gonna, just to go down the list here, you get the Motorhead lesson, mixing alternative rock, recording and mixing punk rock, recording modern rock, total heavy guitar, recording, mixing and mastering metal, mixing symphonic folk metal, recording heavy drums, producing prog metal, mixing rock with Ulrich Wild, mixing the Aquabats, mixing pop rock in the box, mixing math rock, mixing and producing punk rock with Cameron Webb, mixing rock with Ulrich Wild, guitar tone mastery, the ultimate guide to Reaper, mixing metal and Reaper with free plugins, that's one of mine. Got the Jordan Valeriat course in there, mixing indie rock, and mixing extreme metal, recording and mixing rock, understanding audio essential, mixing modern rock, mixing metal with Ulrich Wild, mixing classic rock with Warren, and mixing and mastering a concept album with Alex Nasla. Crumbs balls, that is a lot of courses. Once again, this is only going to be on sale for a couple days, so all the courses we're talking about right now are all going to be in the Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle. This is an absolutely unbeatable deal. Get it while you can, because it's not going to be around for very much longer.
The Reaper course is specific to this is how you use Reaper. Put the two together, and then you get it. And also then when you know like what this particular EQ does, what this particular compressor does, then go and watch Glenn's courses where he's doing what he's doing, and you'll know then why he's doing what he's doing, and you get that deeper understanding and knowledge, and it all falls into place.
Absolutely. Now, the other course we got in here is the real big one, and it's one of my absolute favorite courses, is Scott's Guitar Tone Mastery.
Oh, yeah.
Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
All right, so essentially guitar tone mastery, first and foremost, was my way to end my frustrations of not being able to create great guitar tones with amp simulators. So essentially I created a system for myself, almost like step-by-step, like here's what I do first, here's what I do second, so that I could reduce the amount of time that it took me, and also to find mistakes or issues of what I was doing wrong. And through refinement and through that process, I came up with a guitar tone mastery, which is just a cute way to say how to make a guitar tone with amp simulators.
Right. And
that's essentially it. I mean, amp simulators from free, okay, to the highest premium, and any kind of cabinet impulse response. And then how to take all that, because it's sort of like what Adam said with Reaper in the beginning. You open it and you're like, Reaper, cool. You get 1,000 cabinet impulse responses.
Yeah. How do you find the right one? Exactly. It's like, what's going to work?
Exactly. And that's where, and that's exactly what I did with the course. I was like, okay, here are some pointers. Here's our plan of attack. Here's how we can move through, if you have a folder with 1,000 IRs, how you can find what you want based on your gear, based on your setup and what you're doing. So it's not just like some, vacuum space method. It'll work for whatever you're using, and there are hundreds of people in guitar tone mastery now, so I kind of think that speaks for itself.
Now that's the other thing, is if you grab guitar tone mastery, they're going to get access to what, your personal Discord. Is that what's going on there?
Exactly, yeah. So there's actually a private Facebook and a personal Discord, again, with 100 people in there. And the main thing about that is people can, I don't want to use the word safe space, but I mean, I really dislike trolls and people who just think they're like, they are know-it-alls. So
right.
All sorts of questions. How do I pick an IR? Listen to this tone. What do you think? What can I do better or worse? And it's not just they're talking to me. The community is actually developed where there are consistent posters who are helping each other all the time when I'm AFK or something like that.
Sure, yeah. I get the same thing.
Did the same thing for
here.
mixing extreme metal, actually, and it's
great.
I really, really like it. Discord is super awesome for community building, which is important, I think.
You mentioned free amp sims. Don't you have a clip? Is that for us here? Is that using a free amp sim and just like flat? Like, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
Tell us all about it. What are you using?
I'll show ya.
What's the thing?
Yeah. So please don't panic. I just use a Reaper 5 theme because of some certain customization issues. But essentially, I have a TSC 1.1, which is, and then Emissary, which is a staple. And then Glenn, you'll be happy to see this. This is your producer pack.
Nice.
This is your Engel producer pack with the Engel Fragment and the Lewitt mic.
Okay, cool.
So let me just go ahead and play this, and if you've got questions, we can chat about it.
Okay, cool.
All right, here we go. There we go.
All right. So that was with a free amp sim, right? And you're not
Correct.
doing any
And
post-processing.
No.
You're just-
There's EQ here, but it's not enabled, as you can see.
Oh, shit. Damn.
All the magic is with your producer pack, actually, Glenn, because I'm a big fan of Engel, right?
Yeah, I love that
I really
Engel
like
cab.
I really like that harsh, I want to call it harsh presency.
I call it
hard to
the Euro
explain in
trash sound.
words. There you go. But the problem always that you run into is that it can be really harsh, especially when you do the fragment, which I'm using.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there going, there's got to be a microphone here that will be able to sort of soak up those frequencies.
Right.
Just so happened you got the Engel Lewitt on the cone. Which I explained the difference between the cap and the cone, and I'm just like, boom.
Which
you
would
can
be a very
blend it
bright
here, which
mic,
is exactly
but-
what I did.
Yeah, I could see that. That would be a very bright mic, but when you bring it in, you're definitely going to get some phase cancellation. That's going to take some of the nasties out.
Yes. You're right.
There
and
you
it
go.
was just like, boom, gone. And then all the harshness, the super high piercing, it's been soaked up. And then you just mix it in. You're sort of basically messing with your faders like you talk about on your channel.
Right.
And that's it. And then I do all that with a completely neutral tone stack. And then here I just sort of, here you go. I just mess with the tone stack a little bit to dial it in more. And then the EQ, that's it.
Wow.
It's like, what is this? 2 dB, 1.4, 3 dB, 2 dB, barely doing anything.
This is why I
Because
love
don't
this
need to,
guy's
because
course.
Most of it has been done.
He doesn't just show you what he's doing. Oh, you use your ears. It's like, no, here's why I am doing this, and here's how you should be looking to make your adjustments. That's what works about Scott's course.
Yep.
That's why I like to. I mean, like, I got to say this.
Right.
I mean, like, my course, Total Heavy Guitar, is also included in this bundle. It's all about how I approach miking and recording live amps and blending mics and doing all this other stuff. And I got to admit, I've been recording guitar for 20 plus years, and I still learned a lot from Scott's course because he has a new way of approaching stuff and a different way of approaching stuff than I would.
I have to say, I'm the same. That I watch Scott's course and I get guitar tones now much faster than I ever did, because I have always had a stack of amps in the studio, stack of cabinets, all that kind of stuff. I've always done things by feel, which it sounds like old man yells at cloud. Do things by feel, but it can take quite a long time to really dial things in. Whereas with Scott's method, I'm very quickly going, well, that amp sound works, that cabinet sound doesn't work. Next one, right? Methodical. Done.
I mean, but see, the thing too here is it makes experimentation also faster because now you have a certain set of parameters where, see, like in the beginning, you can be like, I don't like this. I don't know why I don't like it, but that doesn't matter right now. Let's go to the next one. And then through time, you can be like, I don't like this one, maybe too scooped or whatever it means or whatever. But then you start to gain that knowledge, and that's why you hear in those interviews people say things like, well, I just grab a 57 and a 121 because I know they work well together. Through experience and then the frequency curves of both microphones, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, in the beginning, that is completely just Chinese to most people, myself included. And so that's why, the method is that there's actually a legitimate step 1, step 2, step 3. And then later on, you'll change the steps to however you want to do it, but it's just a really good starting point.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So that's Scott Elliot and Adam Steel. Scott, Adam, thank you so much for being on the show, and thanks for making such amazing courses. If you guys are into Reaper or you're into desktop metal production, these are definitely the courses you want to grab. All right, guys. So once again, that is the Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle. It's got all the courses in the metal bundle all wrapped into this. So you get a grand total of 23 courses. Normally, this would be over $1,500 for all these lessons if you bought them individually. If you grab it on this sale now, you'll get it for $197. That's got guitar tone mastery, total heavy guitar, the Reaper courses, all of my courses, plus the Motorhead and Galacticon courses, and the Aquabats even. This will definitely keep you busy for probably the next year or two. There's so much stuff in here. It's an absolutely unbeatable deal at $197. Highly recommend grabbing it because it's only going to be around for a couple more days. Grab it while you can. I'll see you guys next time.